express my views and articulate on the Carriage of Goods Bill 2024. I would also like to thank you, sir, for allowing me to speak on this bill. This bill has great ramifications and consequences on Lakshadweep, my constituency, because unlike any other state and union territory in the country, this bill directly affects Lakshadweep. Most of the goods of transportation are done from the mainland. It is imported from the mainland to Lakshadweep, and as far as Calicut, Bepur port and Mangalore port are the two major ports from where the goods are transported to Lakshadweep, whether it is public distribution system, essential commodities, essential items, construction items, materials, all of that. I would like to also mention here that in our territory there are no railways or roadways. We are totally relying on shipping. Shipping is the lifeline for us. In the passenger ships, we are transporting the goods along with passengers, and there are exclusive barges which are transporting the goods from the mainland to the islands. Sir, Lakshadweep is a scheduled tribe area under Schedule 5 of the Constitution of India. It has been granted the status of scheduled tribe because of the social and economic backwardness and geographical isolation from the mainland. Sir, my point is, when these passenger ships and exclusive barges have been earmarked for transporting, why all the ships are not plying at the moment? There are 5 ships which have been under the possession and ownership of Lakshadweep administration, and being a union territory, it is directly under the सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट. तो मैं माननीय मंत्री जी से जानना चाहता हूं कि मंत्री जी थोड़ा सा आप देश के स्वाभिमान और देश की अस्मिता की बात कर रहे थे. कैलिकट पोर्ट में पिछले 4 साल से कार्गो मूवमेंट बंद करके रखा हुआ है. जब से कोविड हुआ है उसके बाद, कोविड के बाद से अब तक शुरू नहीं किया गया है. तो क्या मैं आपका ध्यान चेयरमैन सर आपके माध्यम से मंत्री जी का आकर्षण करना चाहता हूं, क्योंकि इन्होंने स्वाभिमान और अस्मिता की बात की, तो थोड़ा सा हमारा भी स्वाभिमान और अस्मिता अगर बढ़ा देंगे तो बड़ी कृपा होगी मंत्री जी की. और उसके अलावा सर मैं आपको ये कहना चाहता हूं कि 5 शिप में से अभी सिर्फ 1 शिप चल रहा है. 4 शिप ड्राई डॉक में डाला हुआ है, मेंटेनेंस कर रहे हैं, सर्वे कर रहे हैं. सालों साल पड़ा हुआ है, लोगों को आने जाने में दिक्कत हो रही है. हमारा बेसिक मोड ऑफ ट्रांसपोर्टेशन गुड्स का और पैसेंजर का शिप है. तो मैं माननीय मंत्री जी से आपके माध्यम से रिक्वेस्ट करता हूं, दरखास्त करता हूं कि कोचिन शिपयार्ड लिमिटेड, जो कि इनके मिनिस्ट्री के अंडर आता है, पहले सारे शिप को शिपिंग कॉर्पोरेशन ऑफ इंडिया को दिया, वो चला नहीं पाए, उन्होंने हाथ खड़े कर दिए, वापस दे दिया. कोचिन शिपयार्ड लिमिटेड के साथ पहले हमारा एक एग्रीमेंट था जिसके तहत सारे शिप्स को टाइमली मेंटेनेंस करना, ड्राई डॉकिंग करना, सर्वे करना, ये सब इस बिल से जुड़ा हुआ है सर, क्योंकि हमारे पैसेंजर शिप में गुड्स को भी ट्रांसपोर्ट किया जाता है. तो इसीलिए मैं आपसे मेरी रिक्वेस्ट है कि ऑनरेबल मिनिस्टर जो है अपने पब्लिक सेक्टर अंडरटेकिंग्स जैसे कि कोचिन शिपयार्ड लिमिटेड हो गया, शिपिंग कॉर्पोरेशन ऑफ इंडिया हो गया, इसमें आप अपना ध्यान लगा के थोड़ा सा आपने एज अ मिनिस्टर आप उनको डायरेक्शन दीजिए, CSL के चेयरमैन को, लक्षद्वीप एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन को, पोर्ट डिपार्टमेंट को, कि ये कोऑर्डिनेट करके लोगों को ईज ऑफ बिजनेस और ईज ऑफ ट्रांसपोर्टेशन दोनों में आप मेहनत करिए. क्योंकि आपने कहा कि आपका एजेंडा है, आपका ऑब्जेक्टिव है ईज ऑफ बिल, ईज ऑफ बिजनेस एंड ईज ऑफ दिस थिंग. तो ये ईज ऑफ बिजनेस और ईज ऑफ कमर्शियल एक्टिविटी के लिए और ट्रेडिंग के लिए बहुत जरूरी है कि यू हैव a very convenient mode of transportation. Unless you do that, it is very difficult to have ease of business, or you can't have commercial or trading activities. Sir, the objective of this bill is to regulate the carriage of goods from any port in India to any other port in India, or any port in India to any port overseas. इंडिया से किसी और, इंडिया से दूसरे एक पोर्ट से दूसरे पोर्ट जाने के लिए, इंडिया के एक पोर्ट से विदेश में किसी पोर्ट में जाने के लिए, उसको रेगुलेट करने के लिए इस कैरेज ऑफ बिल को लाया गया है. ये बताया गया था कि 1854 के कानून को, जो कि ब्रिटिश के ज़माने में बनाया गया था। उसके बाद 1925 में भी एक कानून बनाया है, जिसके बाद विस्पी रूल्स बनाया था नॉर्वेजियन जो शिप बिल्डिंग इंडस्ट्री में और कार्गोस और इसके मूवमेंट में जो स्टेट ऑफ द आर्ट वर्क है जिनका, तो उन्होंने इसको किया था। उसमें इंटरनेशनल कन्वेंशंस हैं, जैसे कि कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स, ट्रेडिंग कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स, कैरियर पर्सपेक्टिव्स के माध्यम से, ट्रांसपोर्टर्स पर्सपेक्टिव, all of this is regulated, and we follow the international convention, the Hague Convention of 1922, which was amended again in 1978, which was called the Visby Rules and the Hague Rules. It's also called the Hague Rules. So my humble suggestion to the minister and to the honorable minister and to the government through you, sir, is that kindly ensure that to do ease of business, to have commercial and trading activity, you kindly ensure that there is passenger movement and cargo movement and running of the ships important. आप शिप को बांध के रखेंगे बिना चलाए, वो भी सरकार के ऊपर, it is like a expense and a expenditure on the government. आप उसको चलाएंगे तो जो क्रू को सैलरी मिल रहा है, जो चलेगा तो और अच्छा है, because you will be able to generate some revenue out of it. You are just tied up these ships, it is not running, so it is making it is basically a white elephant for the government. Therefore, sir, I would request you, through you, that this ease of doing business and commercial and trading activity can only be boosted, and commercial activity can only be motivated by making more of transportational facility to the islanders. And मैं आपसे रिक्वेस्ट करता हूं कि मैंगलोर पोर्ट में there was a proposal to have a bigger port. So that port is also coming directly under the minister. This is incidental to this bill, sir. Unless you have a good port, you will not be able to transport goods, and the carriage of goods will be difficult. Bepur port band pada hua hai. I request you to kindly take it up with the Lakshadweep administration and request a proposal from their side to ensure that जो सदियों से चला रहा था उसको बंद कर रखा है, उसको वापस से चालू करें, उसको वापस से शुरू करें, ताकि लोगों को इससे आसानी हो, लोगों की परेशानी दूर हो। इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ सर मैं अपनी बात खत्म करता हूं, और आपने मुझे मौका दिया बोलने का, उसके लिए धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद जी। माननीय सदस्य श्री विभू प्रसाद तराई जी।
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, sir, giving me the opportunity to speak in the August House relating to this Leading Bill 2024, which was introduced in the Lok Sabha in August 9, 2024, seeks to replace the Indian Bill of Lading Act 1856. The bill provides a legal framework for issuance of Bill of Lading. To simplify, quote, this is a bill which refers to document issued by a freight carrier to a shipper. The bill contains details such as type, quality, condition, and destination of goods being carried. The Act states that a bill of lading is conclusive evidence of goods on board. It grants of all rights of suit and liabilities regarding the goods by the receiver as per the bill of lading, or any third party to whom the receiver may transfer ownership of goods. The bill retains all provisions under the Act. The bill adds that the central government may issue directions for carrying out the provisions of the bill. Further, this is a legal document issued by a carrier to a shipper detailing the specific of goods being shipped, essentially acting as a proof of shipment and the receipts for the cargo, and is a crucial for international trade in India, where a significant percentage of cargo is shipped overseas. Using this document, however, precise data on the exact percentage of cargo shipments in India solely relying on bills of lading is not readily available. So, the Lading Act 1856, which is going to be amended relating to this bill only to transferring of all rights in respect of the center, a contract contained in the bill of lading, along with the property to the consign or endorse of the bill of lading, ensuring that transferred bill of lading in the hands of a bona fide holder to be treated as a conclusive evidence of the goods being laden on board. So, though the substantive aspects of the said Act continue to remain relevant, being a pre-independent statute, it is imperative that the provisions of the said Act require to be revised without changing the substance or spirit of the said Act, so as to bring in line with modern legislation in order to facilitate simplification and ease of understanding. Further, a new provision is proposed to be incorporated in empower the central government to issue directions to carry out the provisions of the proposed legislation. So, in the context of what incident had happened in Odisha, in Paradip port in 2009, one Mongolian vessel, MV Black Rose, carrying a cargo of 20,847 metric tons of iron ore and 920 metric tons of furnace oil, sank near Paradip port, Odisha, under mysterious circumstances. Actually, it was engaged in illegal transportation with false documents. Actually, who was the owner? Till today, it was not known to the government till today. It was happened when Congress was ruling the country. At that time, I was the MP of that constituency, Jagatsinghpur MP constituency. Yes. At that time, when this incident happened, at that time, that government of Congress could not trace out the owner of the ship, and till today, it is under the investigation. That's why this lading bill is required, because we know now our government of India, under the efficient leadership of our beloved Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji and Shipping Minister Sarbanand Sonal ji, actually they have taken so many steps to carry out the business relating to sea. Yes. So, in this context, I would like to mention here that Odisha is enriched with so many minerals, like hamar iron ore, manganese, coal, and so many minerals are there. And our coastline is around 480 kilometers from Ganjam to Baleshwar. So many ports have been established, like Paradip, Gopalpur, and Dhamra ports are there. So it is also the planning of our government of India. It is the planning of our Honorable Shipping Minister and beloved Prime Minister. So many ports will be established, not only all over India, in our states also. Yes. So, by the government and by the PPP mode of investment, so many ports are going to be established in Odisha. In this context, I would like to say that this is just to reiterate this House that India has a fleet strength of 1,526 vessels with 13.75 million gross tonnage in 2023. During last 1 year, 6 vessels has been added to the fleet, available data points to the fact that approximately 95% of India's total cargo is transported by sea, meaning that vast majority of cargo shipments in India are done via maritime transport. This translates to around 95% of the country's exim merchandise trade by volume being moved by sea. So, in this context, I would like to say, by this act, which our government has decided to enhance the business by sea route, so it can strengthen our economy. That now, what relating to the strengthening our economy in 2027, our beloved Prime Minister has, there is a target that around more than 5 trillion core economy will be there. Now we have already reached in 4.4 million dollar is there. So that's why when we are going to become the third largest economy in 2027, in this context, the business relating to sea route, so in which way our government has taken steps, efficient steps, so that in future our country will become a developed nation in 2047. It is a step taken by the central government. That's why, yes, again, I would like to reiterate that our beloved Prime Minister and our Shipping Minister, in which way they have taken this bill so that it will enhance our and strengthen our economy in future. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Member. Honourable Member, Srimati Pratima Mandalji. Pratima Mandalji. Pratima ji.
अभी बनाओ सुनाओ हाँ ले लिया
Sir, on behalf of All India Trinamool Congress, I rise to speak on the Bills of Lading Bill 2024. Sir, the Ministry of Ports, Shipping and Waterways contains several problematic provisions that could seriously harm the interest of shippers, traders and stakeholders. Instead of improving maritime trade, the bill increases government control, reduces transparency and creates scope for commercial fraud, all in the name of legislative modernization. One of the most alarming provisions of the bill is found in Section 5, which gives the central government ultimate power to issue any direction it feels necessary to implement the Act. This means the entire authority over maritime shipping will now be controlled by the central government, leaving no space for state governments, traders or industry stakeholders to influence policy making in coastal regions. This provision clearly reflects an attempt at centralizing power in the hands of the central government. It also allows the Ministry of Ports, Shipping and Waterways to intervene in any shipping transaction without any valid justification, violating the principle of cooperative federalism and reducing the autonomy of shipping business and traders. Another extremely dangerous provision is found in Section 4.1, which legalizes commercial fraud. According to this provision, even if the goods have not actually been shipped, a fake bill of lading can still be considered valid proof of shipment. Such a provision would also open doors for smuggling, black market trading, and international money laundering. Small traders, especially exporters, would be highly vulnerable as they could easily be defrauded without any legal remedy. This provision also significantly damages India's trade credibility, as international companies may refuse to conduct business with India due to the increased risks of fraudulent transactions. Sir, the government has repealed the Indian Bills of Lading Act 1856 without introducing any significant improvement to maritime trade except for centralizing power under the Ministry of Sports, Shipping and Waterways. This is merely a policy to introduce unchecked government power over maritime commerce. Another extremely unfair provision appears in Section 2 of the bill, which states that all legal and financial liability for any dispute or contract breach will automatically fall on the consignee. That means the person receiving the goods. So this means that even if the shipping company or the seller is at fault, the consignee will still be held legally responsible. This is extremely unjust, especially for small businesses, SMEs, and exporters who may end up paying heavy penalties for mistakes they did not commit. So this provision discourages smaller companies from engaging in maritime trade. It also completely ignores consumer protection, as the bill offers no legal remedies for consignees who receive faulty, incomplete, or fraudulent shipments. So another major flaw of the bill is that it does not regulate freight charges. Shipping lines, freight companies, and consignment agents often increase freight charges arbitrarily, especially for small businesses. The bill does not set any regulations or price caps, which can massively affect small and medium-scale enterprises, as they will struggle to afford shipping costs. So instead of supporting small businesses, the bill appears to protect large shipping corporations, allowing them to charge any price they want without government regulation. So this would further push small businesses out of maritime trade, weakening India's domestic market. The bill exhibits a clear pro-corporate bias, offering no protection to smaller trades or exporters. The bill gives the central government complete power to control shipping lines, manage shipping documents, transfer ownership of goods, and interfere in private maritime contracts. It could also use this power to manipulate trade for its own political or economic interest, or target specific businesses by obstructing their trade. This will significantly harm India's ease of doing business ranking, as business will have to operate under constant government interference. Additionally, this paves the way for political favoritism, where only a few selected companies may receive special treatment from the government, while others may face obstacles in their shipping operation. The bill provides no role for state governments in regulating maritime trade, despite the fact that they have a direct stake in port infrastructure, employment, and trade revenue. Excluding states and undermining local governance will severely impact local economies and port revenue generation. The vague and open-ended language of the bill also increases the risks of corruption in maritime trade. The bill creates three major loopholes. Number one, Section 4 allows fake bills of lading to be legally accepted even when no goods have been shipped, making commercial fraud easy. Number two, Section 5 gives the government unchecked power to interfere in shipping contracts without any valid reason. And number three, Section 2 shifts all legal and financial liability onto the consignee, even if the fault lies with the shipping company or seller. These loopholes will encourage massive corruption, large-scale smuggling, and fraudulent trade practices. It will destroy accountability in maritime trade and make it easier for legal activities like smuggling and money laundering to thrive. Sir, the bill also creates confusion and uncertainty in international trade. Foreign investors and shipping companies may feel hesitant to do business with Indian traders because the government now has the power to make sudden policy changes or interfere in trade contracts. This could damage India's reputation in global trade and may even lead to trade restrictions, penalties, or sanctions against India for not following international shipping standards. The bill also fails to modernize maritime trade by completely ignoring digitalization, making it harder for India to keep up with modern global shipping practices. Modern maritime trade also requires arbitration, framework, or mediation systems to resolve conflicts efficiently, which are clearly absent here. The Bill of Lading 2024 is not a progressive legislation amid a modernizing trade. Instead, it is a blatant power grabbed by the central government to centralize maritime power. Sir, I would like to mention here that the Haldia dock complex is connected to national waterways. 1. The port is connected with the riverine ports of Bangladesh and Indian state of Assam by National Waterway 97 Sundarban Islands Waterways and Indo-Bangladesh Protocol Waterways. Sir, I would like to draw the attention of the Honorable Ports, Shipping and Waterways Minister. Sir, every day, more than 100 large cargo ships come from our neighboring country, Bangladesh, to India for trading purpose by using the waterways of Sundarban. These cargoes cross several rivers around the Sundarban Delta like Muriganga, Matla, Thakurain, Vidyadhari, Piali, etc., leading to soil erosion and thereby causing severe damage of riverbank embankment of entire Sundarban area. Agricultural lands and ponds are getting polluted and becoming infertile, and mud houses of the residents of Sundarban are being damaged by saline water which passes through the broken embankment. The most alarming thing is that many islands like Kumirmari, Shadjelia, Chotomollakhali, Amtoli, Moushuni, Ghoramora, etc. are becoming vulnerable, struggling to exist due to heavy waves that hit and submerge the islands during the movement of large cargoes. Sir, these worsening by rising sea levels caused by climate change also. Sir, to protect our Sundarban and residents of the area, our Honorable Chief Minister Mamata Bandyopadhyay has sanctioned 27 crore for construction and repairment for the embankment of Sundarban area. So I would like to request the central government, and the Honorable Minister is present here, that either the trade should be conducted by road transportation or the Ports, Shipping and Waterways Ministry should provide financial assistance for maintenance and construction of river bank embankment of entire Sundarban Delta. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable Member, Sri K. Biraj Swamiji.
Thank you very much, sir, for giving me an opportunity to speak on this Bills of Lading 2024. Sir, I would like to thank the Honourable Minister for naming it as the Bills of Lading Bill of 2024 instead of calling it in some Hindi name, which would not have been found it easy for us to understand or even comprehend, sir. Sir, I was also trying to check the dictionary for English words, and I was actually surprised for several words like computer, mouse, and all those things. The actual translation in Hindi is only transliteration, sir. They call that as computer as a computer and a mouse as a mouse. Probably for the Bills of Lading, there probably is not an appropriate word in Hindi. I do not know. Maybe they can explain when they give a reply about this, sir.
Hai Hindi hai, Bahan Patra.
Okay. Okay, sir. So I should then thank the Minister doubly that they have not changed the name from English to some other language, either Sanskrit or Hindi, sir. Sir, I would like to say that maritime trade is not something new, sir. Maritime trade has been here in India for several centuries, and especially in Tamil Nadu. You have to remember that the Cholas were one of the tallest kingdoms at a point of time, sir. It is very underscored in Indian history, sir. We talk so much about the kingdoms in the north, about the Chalukyas and all those dynasties. But the Chola dynasty is one of the largest because they were one of the biggest maritime routes, sir. When China was having the Silk Route, we had probably something like a sea route which was connecting Tamil Nadu to several parts of the northeast and even up to places like Greece and Persia, sir. So we have had evidences, archaeological evidences, which show that these Cholas were doing trade where Indian artifacts have been found in those countries, and their artifacts have been found in Tamil Nadu, sir. Sir, I would also like to mention at this point, Tamil Nadu has broken the historical record where everybody used to say that the Iron Age was only about 1200 BC. But recently there has been a find in Tamil Nadu in one of your archaeological sites where they have dated back the Iron Age to 5450 years ago, sir. It's about 3450 BC. So, and our Chief Minister had announced this, and it is sad that the Union government, neither the Prime Minister nor any of the ministers are even acknowledging this, sir. I'm sure that had this happened in Gujarat, everybody would have been very proudly talking about it, speaking about it, and all those things. So I hope that somebody over there responds and acknowledges that the Iron Age has been rewritten in history from Tamil Nadu, sir, because Tamil Nadu is also a part of India. Kindly consider that Tamil Nadu is a part of India and do not look at us as we are outside of India. The reason why I say that is, whenever a fisherman from some other in the Sri Lankan waters, they immediately say it's a Tamil fisherman. They don't call it as an Indian fisherman. So I hope this government would look at Tamil Nadu people also as part of this country and extend the same benefits, sir.
Yes.
Sir, coming to the bill, sir, apart from historical sites, even during the British period, we had one famous person, sir, Vau Chidambaran, who bought 2 ships, and he was flying it from Tamil Nadu and Sri Lanka, sir. In spite of the British oppression, they were trying to oppress his business. They were trying to, finally they imprisoned him, they tortured him, and then he died as a poor man. But he was the one who actually started off the Indian maritime trade, even during the British era, sir. And commemorating his efforts and his laudable work which has been done, we have named one of our ports in Tamil Nadu as VOC Port, sir, Vau Chidambaran Port in Thoothukudi, sir. That is the constituency of our parliamentary floor leaders' constituency, sir. So I hope that the government also does enough so that for the improvement of the ports over there and all other ports in Tamil Nadu also, sir. Sir, even during the earlier period, in Tamil Nadu, we have one song being sung, sir. Velli pani malai meedu lavuvom, adi melai kadal muzhudum kappal viduvom. This was sung several years back, sir, which talks about we will walk in the silver-clad snow mountains, and we'll also go maritiming into the far out seas. So this is the extent to which the Tamil people have scaled great heights, sir. Sir, coming to the bill, this bill is actually talking about the responsibility of any goods to ensure that the safety of the goods and the economic consideration of the people is taken care of. So there is a person who is going to be sending a product, goods, and it is being shipped where the carrier is responsible for it, and on the receiving end, the person who is finally going to get that. So all these people's interests have to be taken into account. So for this, they have something called as a bill of lading, sir. And this bill of lading is something which is a physical format, sir. Sir, I'm surprised because this government talks so much about advanced India, shining India, and electronic India, and all these things. But this is a process where several countries have started using something called as an electronic bill of lading, sir. You don't need to have a physical copy. The only reason why they have changed this bill is because this act, Bills of Lading Act, is of 1856, sir. In fact, they had made a presentation of this bill in the parliament. Sadly, when I went to attend that, there was not even a facility for translation, sir, and the presentation was made in Hindi. Then I had to have somebody sitting behind me, and then I had to have him translate that to me in English, and I had to take part. Inside the parliament, that MPs from several states are coming and the translation is not available, was actually a very, very sad state of affairs. So after that, I went and complained to the Honorable Speaker also, and he assured that in future that all parliament meetings which are held inside the parliament, they will have translation services provided. And even when the officials were presenting, I went through the bill and I asked them, what is the purpose for changing this, this bill? Why are you bringing this new bill? They said, sir, there is no change excepting the year in which it is being made. It was 1856 and now this is 2024. Other than that, there is absolutely nothing which is of any significance or importance, and there are no new provisions.
एक पैनल मेंबर आदरणीय मंत्री जी ने अपना इंट्रोडक्टरी स्पीच में इस बिल का क्या किस कारण से why this bill has been taken into consideration. This was well spoken by the honorable minister when he was giving his introductory speech in his chamber. What you have talked in his chamber, it is not to be mentioned here. You talk about the bill. Yes, please go.
You did not understand what I am trying to tell you.
Okay.
No,
you please play it.
Sir, I was not referring to the minister's speech at all. I was only stating that the person who had made the presentation, you can ask, it is all video recorded, sir. It is available on YouTube even today. You can go and see, you can see
Minister,
the interactions.
You have to check it.
The officials are the ones who gave me this reply when I inquired about this.
You have to check it. Honorable Minister. Yes, please. Sir, just a minute. Just a minute. Honorable Minister, just a minute.
Respected Sir, actually in this regard, whatever presentation was made, it was all being done by our senior officials, and all the queries, whatever Honorable Member of Parliament raised, it was effectively addressed. And I believe that's the provision was created there and comfortably done. I don't see any controversial issue to be raised out of this kind of this thing. Yes. But if you if you respected like a member of parliament, please, respected member of parliament, please let us stick to the provisions of the statute. I think that would be better.
Okay. Thank you. Honorable member, please. Just a minute, please. I am allowing him. Please, honorable member, just. Kone Mujiji, please.
Sir, why you are representing us also?
No,
you are representing
this share
us
is for
also,
all.
Sir. Yes, that is exactly what
honorable
we say.
Honorable member.
Custodian of the...
Sir,
yes, I know him.
Sir, I will clarify the misunderstanding.
Okay.
No, sir.
Sanjay, sit down, Sanjay.
Sir, you had assumed that I was not here when the minister made his presentation. I would like to correct that I was here when the minister had made his presentation. But you did not understand what I was trying to say. What I was trying to say was that during the meeting over there, the officials, they told us that there is no change in the provisions or any of the content other than the year in which it is being done. So
I truly understand what you have saying. I truly understand. But if any member, when the meeting was going on, when any officers speaks like this, just listen is there. Please, Birasamiji, please. Birasamiji, please.
Sir,
Birasamiji, please.
I'm actually grateful that you are asking for a credit to all the members in the opposition benches, sir. So because we have found that several times, though we keep screaming, even if we come to the middle of the well and we keep screaming, that none here we find that several times, even if there are 50 MPs inside the well and shouting, the house is running comfortably where the person is in the chair is not at all.
हर दिन वेल में आते हैं
सर,
हर दिन वेल में आते हैं और हर दिन शोर शराब करते हैं, रक्कस करते हैं. ऐसे इनका हिसाब से जाता है तो पार्लियामेंट चल ही नहीं सकते. हमको तो गवर्नमेंट बिजनेस भी है और जो कुछ भी उन
your precedent, sir. What we are following what you did when you were in opposition, the same democracy you want, and we are trying to follow the same thing, sir. We are not doing anything undemocratic, sir. We are not doing anything undemocratic.
So you started it, sir. You started it.
No. It should be clear for all
Sir, you have to understand, Tamil people are people where we are of the belief and faith that wherever we go, every one of them is a relative. They are all related to us. So this is the saying with which they are looking at them as, see, you can look at them as foes, political foes, but you're looking at us as enemies. So we have a spirit where Sendridveer ettikkum, sir, I am talking on the bill, please keep quiet. Sendridveer ettikkum, collect Sir, can I?
The enemy is not unparliamentary.
No.
The enemy is not unparliamentary.
He can speak
How can that be?
You please, he will speak. He is capable enough to speak. You please sit down. He is capable enough.
As I was saying, sir, we are.
Enemy is not unparliamentary, sir.
Please wait here now.
Sir, take directions and get whatever wealth you can. When we say wealth, we are not only talking about economic wealth, sir. We are talking also about knowledge. So we are willing. We have a lot of things which are precious to us. One of them is language. One of them is culture. One of them is the way we eat, the way we dress. Everything we respect, sir. We hope that the treasury benches will give the same kind of a respect for each and every person. I mean, they're on with their culture, their food practices, and their education system. Everything should be given to them, sir. In fact, if you want to go talking about that, I can keep going on and on. Sir, I will come back to the bill, sir. I will come back to the bill. Yes. Sir, the project was envisaged about more than 10 years back, sir. Despite so many years, this present government and the budget outlay for that is roughly around 6 lakh crores or more, sir. Sir, despite that, I think there are several, in National Waterway 1 to National Waterway 6. And Tamil Nadu will benefit if National Waterway 4 is being implemented, sir. This is a national waterway which will run from Eluru in Andhra Pradesh to Pondicherry, traversing across Tamil Nadu, especially Chennai, sir, in my constituency. So I would request that the government look into it, because statistics has shown that it's expensive to transport by train and 0.5 times more expensive to transport by ship. So shipping is one of the cheapest, simplest, most reliable way, and if the National Waterways project is implemented, Tamil Nadu will benefit in a huge way, sir, and not only Tamil Nadu, all the states, whichever states are being connected through all the National Waterway projects. Earlier speaker, Madam Pramod also had told about this, so I would like to re-emphasize to this government to see what can be done to implement the National Waterways project, sir. And once again, I thank the Minister for retaining the name of the bill in English. But I oppose this bill because only the years changed, sir. Thank you very much.
Good. Thank you, honourable member.
आपने मुझे इस बिल पर बोलने का मौका दिया, मैं आपका आभार व्यक्त करता हूं। महोदय, मैं द बिल ऑफ लेडिंग बिल, जो एक द इंडियन बिल्स ऑफ लेडिंग एक्ट 1856 को रिपील करने के लिए लाया गया है, यह विधेयक था कि 1856 के एक्ट को वर्तमान के समय के अनुसार से इसमें बदलाव लाई जाए। विधेयक में 1856 के एक्ट में सब्सटेंस या स्पिरिट ऑफ एक्ट में बहुत ज़्यादा बदलाव नहीं किया गया है, लेकिन कुछ नए प्रोविजंस को लाया जा रहा है ताकि जहाज पर माल ढुलाई आदि से संबंधित प्रोविजन सरल हो सके। महोदय, जैसा कि हम सभी जानते हैं, विश्व में व्यापार सिमिलेस की तरफ बढ़ रही है। द बिल्स ऑफ लेडिंग एक रिसीट का पार्ट है, कॉन्ट्रैक्ट का पार्ट है, साथ ही साथ ऑनरशिप का पार्ट भी है। इस विधेयक में एक की एलिमेंट भी है। महोदय, वर्तमान विधेयक के सेक्शन 2 में बिल्स ऑफ लेडिंग के अधिकारों को कॉन्साइनी या इंडोर्सी के निहित में उसके हित में किया गया है तथा सभी सामानों की लायबिलिटी 2024 के सेक्शन 3 में यह प्रोविजन लाया गया है कि जहाज पर माल भेजने वाले असली मालिक के अधिकारों में छेड़छाड़ नहीं हो। इस विधेयक के सेक्शन 6 में केंद्र सरकार को सक्षम बनाया गया है कि इस अधिनियम के सभी अथवा किसी भी प्रावधान को उपयुक्त समझकर निर्देश जारी कर सकते हैं। महोदय, वर्तमान विधेयक समुद्र के रास्ते माल की ढुलाई संबंधी एक कानूनी दस्तावेज है। भारत में समुद्री विरासत 7,500 किलोमीटर विशाल और रहा है। महोदय, भारत समुद्री क्षेत्र वाणिज्य, कनेक्टिविटी और अंतर्राष्ट्रीय सहयोग के लिए एक महत्वपूर्ण कड़ी के रूप के हिसाब से संभालता है। वर्तमान विधेयक के पास होने से यह स्वीकृति मिलेगी कि माल किसी विशेष जलयान से निर्दिष्ट गंतव्य तक सुरक्षित भेज दिया गया है तथा सही सलामत पोत मालिक की कस्टडी में आ गया है। महोदय, मैं इस महत्वपूर्ण विधेयक पर अपनी बात रखते हुए माननीय मंत्री जी पोर्ट्स, शिपिंग और वाटरवेज का ध्यान अपने नारायणी रिवर फ्रंट की ओर आकृष्ट करना चाहता हूं, जो मेरे संसदीय क्षेत्र गोपालगंज में है। विगत वर्षों में मंत्रालय ने 6.62 करोड़ रुपए इसके लिए आवंटन करने के बाद काम भी शुरू किया गया था तथा 2 घाटों को बनाया भी गया था। गंडक नदी या नारायणी नदी को नेशनल वाटरवेज 37 घोषित किया गया था।
जो भैंसा लोटन बराज से गंगा नदी हाजीपुर में नेशनल वाटरवेज 3 में मिलाने की है। सरकार के स्टडी रिपोर्ट में भी यह जल मार्ग विकास के लिए उपयुक्त पाया गया है तथा शिपिंग और नेविगेशन इसके माध्यम से किया जा सकता है। महोदय, सदन के माध्यम से मैं माननीय मंत्री जी से आग्रह करता हूं कि नारायणी रिवर फ्रंट के जल मार्ग 37 को विकसित करके पोटेंशियल कार्गो का परिचालन शुरू किया जाए ताकि मेरे संसदीय क्षेत्र गोपालगंज भी जल मार्ग से व्यापार कर सके। महोदय, मैं इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ अपनी इस बिल पर अपनी बात रखते हुए बिल का समर्थन करते हुए अपनी बात समाप्त करता हूँ। धन्यवाद सभापति महोदय।
धन्यवाद माननीय सदस्य। ऑनरेबल मेंबर श्री एम श्री भरत जी।
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I rise to speak in favor of the Bill of Lading, Bill 2024. So, largely the intention to really provide legal framework and ensure that any open ends are tied up with this bill is a part of the larger agenda to improve and strengthen the maritime sector. And we support this. In the recent past also we've seen incidents of illegal goods being shipped in, but then the question mark arises on who takes ownership of it, who has the liability for it. I'm glad that this bill does that and also gives flexibility to the central government to issue directions as and where needed based on the current changing circumstances. Speaking about the maritime sector overall, sir, I'm happy to see that our overall cargo handling capacity has doubled from about 800 million tons per annum to about 1630 million tons per annum as of March 24, indicating the commitment of the NDA government towards developing maritime trade. 9 Indian ports are ranked amongst the top 100 ports globally, and I'm sure over the years many more will show up on those rankings. We're seeing how global events are disrupting maritime trade, like the Russia-Ukraine war, that are leading to shipping delays, higher costs, and impacting all our industries. And a large part of our trade, over 95%, happens through the shipping sector, and 70% of the value comes from the shipping sector. So, sir, there are many things that we need to do to ensure that we remain competitive and increasingly compete with the global market in this. I think the resources that need to be put in this direction, I have a few points on that, sir, which I would like to put in front of you to the government also. One is the high freight costs that have increased in the last few years because of the global uncertainty. How do we reduce that? The next is the shortage of containers. I think India should invest, doing more manufacturing. So recently, the Hindustan Shipbuilding Yard in Visakhapatnam was awarded a contract for building 3 ships. I think we need to be doing a lot more of that, and not just building more ships, but building the so-called mother ships, the really large ships which require drafts of 18 meters or more. In fact, in Visakhapatnam, we are unable to receive that because our draft sometimes doesn't meet that depth requirement. And the major disincentive right now is that the shipping lines are expected to invest into that dredging behavior, which often doesn't happen. So the request is, if the government can provide a dredging subsidy to places like Visakhapatnam and other parts of the country, I think we will be able to bring in and reduce the transshipment costs so that we'll be able to do it in our ports itself. The next, sir, is within the shipping ecosystem, a small request from my parliament. We have invested about 100 crores to develop a cruise terminal in Vizag port. Takes a favorable view on that. I also want to appreciate the government for the turnaround time in major ports. In 2013-14, it was about 94 hours. Now it has come down to 48 hours in 23-24, showing a massive improvement in the efficiency of the shipping sector. And there are many other points, but overall, I think investment into this would be critically relevant for our future, and Andhra Pradesh would be very happy to partner on this, because recently we have announced our maritime policy. We have almost 1,000-kilometer coastline, and we have makes this industry more transparent, more agile, and more ready to adapt to the changing global conditions and make us a competitive force in the maritime trade. Thank you.
Honorable member Sri Birendra Singh ji.
धन्यवाद अध्यक्ष महोदय। आज मैं समाजवादी पार्टी की तरफ के लिए खड़ा हुआ हूं। समुद्री जलमार्ग निश्चित रूप से आयात और निर्यात का एक अच्छा साधन है और केंद्र सरकार का एकाधिकार होने के कारण और राज्य सरकार को कोई विशेष उसकी सहभागिता नहीं रहती है। जल परिवहन पोर्ट हमारी आर्थिक स्थिति को बढ़ाने का बहुत महत्वपूर्ण साधन है और जिसपे आयात और निर्यात करने वाली एजेंसियों को माल की सुरक्षा, माल ढुलाई और उनको देश विदेश से आयात और निर्यात करने के लिए इतनी सस्ती परिवहन सेवा संभवतः जो है देश में नहीं है। हम चाहते हैं कि जो विधेयक लाया गया है उस विधेयक में व्यापारियों के माल के सुरक्षा की गारंटी हो, डैमरेज और वारफेज चार्ज जो पोर्ट पे लिए जाते हैं उसके बहाने जो व्यापारियों का शोषण होता है वो शोषण को कम किया जाए और उसका सरलीकरण किया जाए और जो माल डैमेज हो जाते हैं इंश्योरेंस कंपनियां उस डैमेज माल का मुआवजा भी वो देने से कतराती हैं। तो मैं सरकार से कहना चाहता हूं कि जो विधेयक लाया गया है वो विधेयक में संशोधन करते हुए कुछ व्यवस्था ऐसा किया जाए कि ताकि इंश्योरेंस कंपनियां समय पर व्यापारियों के उनके डैमेज का भुगतान समय सीमा के अंतर उपलब्ध करा दे। हमारा जनपद वाराणसी है उत्तर प्रदेश में, सरकार ने फैसला किया है कि गंगा में जल परिवहन के द्वारा यात्री के आने जाने की सुविधा और साथ ही साथ माल ढुलाई के साधन भी हम वहां उपलब्ध कराएंगे ताकि परिवहन भाड़ा कम होने से व्यापारियों को लाभ हो सके, महंगाई कम हो सके। लेकिन अफसोस की बात हम आपसे कहना चाहते हैं कि जनपद वाराणसी में मिल्कीपुर में वहां पोर्ट बन रहा है, करीब 3000 परिवार गरीब हैं जो बसे हुए हैं, उनको मुआवजा नहीं दिया जा रहा है, उनको जबरदस्ती बेघर किया जा रहा है। वहीं बगल में एक भगवान बुद्ध के नाम से संस्थान है, 50 एकड़ की भूमि को जबरदस्ती कब्जा करने का प्रयास सरकार के द्वारा किया जा रहा है और वाराणसी से लेकर के हल्दिया तक, चाहे वो गाजीपुर हो, चाहे वो बलिया हो, पटना हो, जहां तक वो सेवाएं जाती हैं वहां पर बन रहे पोर्ट पर जो किसानों की जमीन आसपास की है, जहां सड़क जो बन रही है उनको ठीक तरीके से मुआवजा जो है नहीं दिया जा रहा है। वाराणसी में जो परिवहन की सफलता का प्रतिशत है वो 0.01% भी नहीं है। एक बार यात्री सेवा को लेकर के यात्री परिवहन जल मार्ग से भेजने का प्रयास सरकार ने किया और दूसरे यात्री परिवहन की बात यह हुई कि गंतव्य स्थान से तो समय से चली, बहुत ही माला फूल और बाजे गाजे के साथ उस यात्री पोत को रवाना किया गया, लेकिन हर जगह जाते जाते गंगा नदी में इतना बालू का गाद है कि वो फंस जाती थी। फिर वहां से डोजर लगा करके किसी तरीके से जैसे पीछे से ठेल करके आगे बढ़ाया जाता था, फिर आगे जाकर के जो है बलिया में फंस गई, फिर आगे जाकर के वो पटना में फंस गई। अंततः जो यात्रा 15 दिन में खत्म होनी थी वो यात्रा करीब 1.5 महीने बाद जो है अपने गंतव्य स्थान पर पहुंच सकी। मैं जानता हूं कि माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी का ये सपना है कि बनारस से जल परिवहन सेवा को शुरू किया जाए, इसलिए मैं आपके माध्यम से माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी से अनुरोध करना चाहता हूं कि वहां आवश्यक धन उपलब्ध करावें ताकि गरीबों को मुआवजा मिल सके, ताकि गंगा को और गहरा किया जा सके, ताकि वो परिवहन सेवा ठीक तरीके से अपने गंतव्य स्थान पे चल सके। पानी गंगा में नहीं रहता है, सिंचाई के पंप स्टेशन बंद हो जाते हैं, किसानों की सिंचाई नहीं हो पाती है, गर्मी के दिनों में लोगों को पानी नहीं मिल पाता है। तो कल्पना कीजिए कि ऐसे स्थिति में जो है जल परिवहन सेवा कैसे वहां चलाई जा सकती है। इसलिए मैं आपसे जो मैंने पहले कहा कि जो आयात और निर्यात करने वाले व्यापारी हैं उनका शोषण न हो सके, उनको इंश्योरेंस हो सके डैमेज और मार्फेज चार्ज के जरिए, ये सारी व्यवस्था आप करें ताकि ये सस्ती परिवहन सेवा देश को उपलब्ध हो सके। मैं माननीय अध्यक्ष जी को धन्यवाद देते हुए अपनी बात को समाप्त करता हूं।
धन्यवाद जी। माननीय सदस्य श्री अरविंद सावंत जी।
Thank you, Chairman sir. The bills of leading bill 2025-24. On this bill, I would like to express my views over here. The Honorable Minister has placed it with some recommendations, some comments on it. While doing so, he spoke about the Asmita of India. I did not understand where the Asmita lies in the bill. Because the bill was a colonial bill, was there in 1925, which was based on the Visby rules. Visby rules. Those have been changed. Simplification has been done. You yourself have accepted it, that you have done a simplification in the bill. The major changes in the bill is replacing the term rules with applicable rules reflecting modern standards. The bill also grants the central government the authority to amend these rules through notification in the official gazette, allowing there are certain lacunae in it. The perspective of the bill, the aim of the bill, the object of the bill. While doing so, do we look at the fact, what is happening practically? When you say that the substantial aspects of the said act are relevant in the present context, since it is a pre-independence legislation, the language therein requires simplification without changing the substance or spirit of the provision, so as to bring in line with the drafting practices followed in recent Indian statute, and in order to facilitate ease of understanding. The ease of understanding and ease of business. There are two terms are different little bit, I feel. Simplification of the language of the provision of the Act by dividing long sections into sub-clauses in the bill for ease of understanding to the extent possible without changing the substance or spirit of the provision. The fact that you have not changed the spirit, not the structure also, not the substance also. So what is the change in it? And what for it has been brought? Just for the sake of that, it was a colonial bill. Now Indian government is bringing this bill. So therefore the Asmita is coming in your mind. I don't know where the Asmita is lying in this. But the fact remains, sir, some of the clauses when you say that right of stoppage of transit or claims for a freight not to be affected. Now right of stoppage of in transit, the pirates are also stopping it. What is the provision to protect that? Something has to be seen in any port. The jurisdiction of the sea miles is given to the state government. Certain level, certain areas, certain kilometers, the state government will control. Beyond that, the central government will control. International border also comes in. It happens in the case of the fishermen also. But now the case is that stoppage, when you want to do the stoppage, any right of stoppage in transit or any right to claim freight against the original shipper or owner any liability of the consignee or endorsee by reason or in consequences of his being such a consignee or endorsee or of his receipt of the goods by reason or the inconsequences of such consignment or endorsement. Again, this is not a simpler language. When you said you want to simplify, it is not simplifying it. It is creating more confusion. So let us be very simple on this thing. And the most dangerous part of it is, as far as I am concerned, I feel that the central government may give such direction as may deem necessary for carrying out all or any of the provisions of this act. Now there lies the issue. There it is challenging to the federal structure of the country. It's my opinion, because we have a maritime board in the state. At one port, the unloading will be done at the other port. In between, the transit is there. In transit, I have said about the pirates also. Now once it arrives over here, what exactly we are going to, the consignee will be, or endorsee will be responsible for suit and everything. That is correct. That's the correct provision. But the fact remains, sir, when you want to do this, you have to have a good ports and have to have a maritime board which is functional at the state level. Now, that maritime board should take care of what exactly the central government wants, or you want it through this bill, whether that maritime board is going to carry that responsibility or not. Who is going to carry it? Central government. Or central government will monitor it or give a directive to the maritime board. Or you are going to make a maritime board non-functional? That answer has to be given by the minister. I feel it is a rather very, evasive action of the central government in the maritime board of the state government. Of late, you have gone for a ward one. There is opposition, strong opposition, resentment is there, strong opposition, the agitations are going on. I do not want to politicize the issue over here. But when you are developing it, you are bringing the sand from the Gujarat to Wadwan Bandar to reclaim the land over there or sea land over there. Okay, good. Why not from Mumbai port? If you do it, the draft of the Mumbai port will increase automatically. You need sand. You bring it. The dredging has not been done. The stilting has not been done for a long years. When I am demanding it for last 10 years in this parliament, you people are not doing it. Why you are not doing this, sir? And where from this business will go? Where it will go? Not Mumbai port. Wadwan will come. It will take some time. Okay? For whom you are doing it? $1 million question. Everyone knows who are holding the ports now. And therefore, while doing so, I, with a folded hand, request you, don't ignore Mumbai. Don't have a revengeful action. Mumbai is not only ours. Mumbai is the country's port. You want to reclaim the land at Wadwan, dredging the sand should have been taken from Mumbai port and should have been brought over here. It is not being done. And I feel with the bill, the intentions are good, the simplification is good. It's not a question of Asmita, it's a question of business itself. To make a ease of business, these provisions are there, I can understand that. But I expect you, at least Sonomalji, during your tenure, as you are taking some right steps, some policy, in additional policy I'll tell you. Now the encroachment is, you have given some, Mr. Shankar is the secretary, I think, over there with your department. He has given some optimistic answer to me now, because the encroachments which are there on the port had to be removed and they should be rehabilitated. There also we have to go for a policy. If you are going to do the ease of business, that also is hampering. So that also has to be thought that you have moved a bit in this direction. I, with full delight, say thanks to that. But we'll have to come to a final achievement by rehabilitating those people who are residing over there. That should also be done. The Mumbai port should be taken up. You must give a priority for the redevelopment of the Mumbai port. Sir, thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
धन्यवाद जी, धन्यवाद. माननीय सदस्य श्री रविंद्र वाइकर जी.
धन्यवाद सभापति महोदय. बिल ऑफ लैंडिंग बिल 2024 पर बोलने का अवसर देने के लिए पंतप्रधान श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी, पतन पोत परिवहन और जलमार्ग मंत्री श्री सर्वानंद सोनोवाल जी और पारदर्शी बनाने तथा ईज ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस को बढ़ावा की दिशा में ऐतिहासिक कदम है। सबसे पहले मैं माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी का अभिनंदन करना चाहता हूं कि उन्होंने गहरे पानी वाले मेगा पोर्ट वाधवन की आधारशिला रखने के लिए धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूं। 76,000 करोड़ रुपए की लागत से बनने वाला यह पोर्ट दुनिया में शीर्ष 10 बंदरगाहों में शामिल होगा। यह भारत की वैश्विक समुद्र व्यापार का केंद्र यानी ग्लोबल ट्रेड हब बनाने में मदद करेगा और भारत की निर्यात क्षमताओं को यानी एक्सपोर्ट कैपेबिलिटी को दोगुना करेगा। इस परियोजना से 12 लाख से अधिक प्रत्यक्ष और अप्रत्यक्ष नौकरियां सृजित होगी, जिससे स्थानीय अर्थव्यवस्था को भी बड़ा लाभ मिलेगा। बिल ऑफ लैंडिंग बिल 1856 के कानून का आधुनिकीकरण किया गया है। मैं अब बिल ऑफ लैंडिंग बिल 2024 के विषय पर यानी 25 के विषय पर आता हूं, जो 1886 के पुराने कानून को हटाकर एक आधुनिक विधेयक लाने की दिशा में कदम है। ये भारत की व्यापारी सामुद्री व्यापार प्रणाली को दुनिया के बेहतरीन मानकों के अनुसार विकसित करेगा। सभापति महोदय, बिल ऑफ लैंडिंग का कानूनी जो ढांचा है एक महत्वपूर्ण दस्तावेज है जो शिपर और मालवाहक के बीच अनुबंध को प्रमाणित करता है। ये माल की स्वामित्व यानी हस्तांतरण ट्रांसफर ऑफ ओनरशिप और दायित्व एंड विधेयक में ये प्रावधान है कि प्राप्तकर्ता और तीसरा पक्ष थर्ड पार्टी जिसे स्वामित्व हस्तांतरित किया गया है उस सभी माल से संबंधित अधिकार प्राप्त करेगा, यानी ईजीएस हो जाएगा। बिल ऑफ लैंडिंग का निर्णायक प्रमाण यानी कंक्लूजन की विवाद की स्थिति में यह दस्तावेज निर्णायक होगा। यानी अभी कई सदस्यों ने भी कहा कि यहाँ जो रेट जो कुछ होगा तो उसके ऊपर अपने दस्तावेज जो अभी ये बिल है वो उसके ऊपर निर्णायक होगा। ये इसके अंदर कानून के अंदर ये बिल के अंदर इसका स्पष्टीकरण किया है। केंद्र सरकार को निर्देश जारी करने की शक्ति इसके अंदर है। सरकार को यह अधिकार होगा कि ये विधेयक क्रियान्वयन के लिए आवश्यक दिशा निर्देश जारी कर सकता है। इस विधेयक का सकारात्मक प्रभाव यानी इम्पैक्ट ऑफ द बिल बढ़ोतरी देगा। लॉजिस्टिक सेंटर को मजबूती मिलेगी। निर्यातकों को एक्सपोर्ट और व्यापारी टेंडर्स के लिए सुरक्षा और सुविधा सुनिश्चित कर सकता है। मैं इसके माध्यम से आपके माध्यम से भारत में समुद्री व्यापार का विकास महत्व बताना चाहता हूं कि 2024 में भारत के प्रमुख बंदरों में कार्गो हैंडलिंग की क्षमता यानी मात्र 800 MTPA की थी, जो मार्च 2024 तक है, जिनकी लागत 32,000 करोड़ रुपए है। इन परियोजना का वार्षिक पोर्ट क्षमता 230 MTPA है, यानी उसमें वृद्धि हो गई है। इनलैंड वाटरवे पर माल ढुलाई 2014 में 18.1 MMT थी, जो 2024 में 133.03 MMT हो गई है। लगभग 7 गुना बढ़ोतरी आई है, समृद्धि आई है, वृद्धि आई है। क्रूज भारत मिशन को मुंबई से लॉन्च किया गया, जिसमें भारत में क्रूज टूरिज्म को बढ़ावा मिलेगा। सभापति महोदय, जिसमें मेरी कई मांगे, जिस मांगों में मुंबई में क्रूज भारत मिशन का त्वरित विकास होना बहुत जरूरी है। अभी कई सदस्यों ने कहा कि मुंबई पोर्ट ट्रस्ट वो भी उसका सशक्त है, ये मेरी पहली मांग है। उसमें दूसरी मांग है, जो मेरा एरिया आता है नॉर्थ वेस्ट मुंबई में, वहां वर्सावा करके एरिया इलाका है, समुद्र के बाजू का इलाका है, उस वर्सावा जेटी का निर्माण होना बहुत जरूरी है। वर्षा और उसके जुड़े तटीय क्षेत्रों में जलमार्गों के माध्यम से मुंबई से जोड़ने के लिए वर्सावा जेटी का निर्माण होना बहुत जरूरी है। इसके पहले भी मैंने कहा था कि वर्सावा जेटी का निर्माण जितने जल्द हो सके उतना, माननीय मंत्री महोदय मैं आपसे मिला भी था कि वर्सावा जेटी का निर्माण होना बहुत जरूरी है। मुंबई और कोकण के बीच जलमार्ग की भी आवश्यकता है, जो सालों से लोगों ने मांग की है। कोकण के किसानों और व्यापारी के लिए, विशेषकर फल और सब्जी उत्पादनों के लिए ये बेहद आवश्यक है कि जिनके उत्पादन जलमार्ग से माध्यम से मुंबई तक सुगमता से पहुंच सकते हैं। अगर मुंबई और कोकण के बीच वाटरवे विकसित किया जाए तो खराब होने वाले सामान को जल्दी व सस्ते पहुंचाना जा सकता है। इसलिए वाटर ट्रांसपोर्ट की वृद्धि हो जानी चाहिए। इससे कोकण के किसानों का सीधा लाभ मिलेगा और उसकी आय में वृद्धि होगी। मुंबई, कोकण और अन्य क्षेत्रों में जलमार्ग एवं पोर्ट इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर को और विकसित करने की जरूरत है। ये विधेयक भारत की समृद्धि और लॉजिस्टिक्स सेक्टर को विश्वसनीय बनाने के लिए एक बड़ा कदम, लेकिन इसके साथ हमें पतन और जल मार्ग के आधारभूत ढांचे को भी सुधार लाना चाहिए, कंस्ट्रक्ट करना चाहिए। बिल ऑफ लैंडिंग 24 हमारे व्यापारियों उद्योगपति का सुरक्षा और पारदर्शिता देंगी। मुझे विश्वास है कि सरकार हमारी मांगों पर जल्दी से जल्द कार्रवाई करेंगी और भारत को समृद्धि और लॉजिस्टिक का वैश्विक केंद्र बनाने में महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका निभाएंगी। धन्यवाद सभापति महोदय।
धन्यवाद जी। माननीय सदस्य श्री भास्कर भगाड़े जी।
अध्यक्ष महोदय, बिल्स ऑफ लेंडिंग विधेयक 2024 वरती मला बोलण्याची संधी दिली त्याबद्दल मी आपल्याला मनापासून धन्यवाद देतो। हे बिल निरस्त करून शिपिंग आणि लॉजिस्टिक आणि समुद्री व्यापार प्रक्रियांना अधिक आधुनिकीकरण करण्याच्या उद्देशाने आणलं गेलं आहे। महाराष्ट्रामध्ये मोठी समुद्र किनारपट्टी आहे। या किनारपट्टीवरती अनेक बंदरं छत्रपती शिवाजी महाराजांच्या काळामध्ये सुद्धा किंवा किल्ले असतील, बंदरं असतील बांधण्यात आली। माजी पंतप्रधान पंडित नेहरू यांच्या नावाने स्थापन झालेलं JNPT बंदर असेल किंवा आत्ताच नव्याने महाराष्ट्रामध्ये पालघर या ठिकाणी वाढवण बंदर होतंय। हे बंदर आज जरी होत असेल परंतु त्याच्या पाठीमागे सगळ्याच शासनकर्त्यांचं फार मोठं योगदान आहे आणि या माध्यमातून परदेशामध्ये आयात निर्यात मोठ्या प्रमाणावरती होणार आहे। हे जे विधेयक आज आणलं जातंय हे फक्त एक सुधारणा नसून त्यातून अनेक गंभीर प्रश्न उपस्थित होण्याची शक्यता या निर्माण होते। डिजिटल आणि इलेक्ट्रॉनिक बिल ऑफ लेंडिंगला पूर्णपणे कायदेशीर मान्यता देण्यात आलेली आहे, परंतु यामुळे ग्रामीण भागामधील शेतकरी असतील, छोटे व्यापारी असतील, शिपिंग कंपनी, लॉजिस्टिक उद्योग यांना अडचणी येऊ शकतात। भारतातील अनेक भागामध्ये अद्याप डिजिटल पायाभूत सुविधा नाहीत आणि त्यामुळे मोठ्या उद्योगांसाठी हे फायदेशीर असलं तरी लहान व्यापार आणि शेतकऱ्यांसाठी हे बिल अडचणीचं ठरू शकते। त्याचप्रमाणे आपल्या देशातील इंटरनेट सुविधा, सायबर सुरक्षिततेच्या मर्यादाला आंतरराष्ट्रीय शिपिंग नियमांशी हे विधेयक मेळ बसताना दिसत नाही आणि यामुळे व्यापार करताना अनेक अडचणी येऊ शकतात। त्यातून भारतीय शिपिंग कंपन्यांचं मोठं नुकसान होऊ शकतं। विधेयकातील नियमामध्ये व्यवहार पारदर्शक होईल अशा व्यापारासाठी हा कायदा प्रतिकूल ठरू शकतो, कारण अनेक प्रक्रिया केवळ डिजिटल असल्यामुळे ते केवळ मोठ्या कंपन्यांसाठी सोयीस्कर होतील। सरकारने यामध्ये लहान आणि मध्यम उद्योजकांसाठी स्वतंत्र तरतुदी करायला हव्यात, त्या केलेल्या दिसत नाही। भारतीय शिपिंग आणि लॉजिस्टिक क्षेत्र अद्याप आंतरराष्ट्रीय मानकांच्या पातळीवर पोहोचलेलं नाही। युरोप, अमेरिका यासारख्या देशात मालवाहतूक कंपन्या असतील अद्याप या प्रणालीसाठी सज्ज झालेल्या दिसत नाही आणि म्हणून सरकारने प्रथम देशांतर्गत पायाभूत सुविधा किंवा लॉजिस्टिक या बाबतीत सुधारणा करून नंतर आंतरराष्ट्रीय मानकांचं अनुकरण करावं असं मला वाटतं। आपला शेतीमालाची निर्यात होते, परंतु वारंवार बदलणाऱ्या आयात निर्यात धोरणामुळे शेतकऱ्यांना मोठा आर्थिक फटका बसतो। निर्यात धोरणामध्ये दीर्घकालीन स्थिरता आणण्यासाठी उत्पादन खर्चाच्या आधारे हमीभाव निश्चित केला गेला पाहिजे। माझ्या दिंडोरी लोकसभा किंवा नाशिक जिल्ह्यामधून कांदे असतील, द्राक्ष असतील यांचं उत्पादन मोठ्या प्रमाणावरती घेतलं जातं, परंतु वारंवार निर्यात बंदी केली जाते आणि त्याचा फटका किंवा परदेशी देश आयात शुल्क आकारतं आणि त्याचा मोठा फटका हा कांदा किंवा द्राक्ष उत्पादक शेतकऱ्यांना बसतो। शेतकरी सातत्याने कांद्यावरील निर्यात शुल्क माफ करावं, पाठीमागे 40% निर्यात शुल्क होतं ते 20% केलं। आजही माझ्या मतदारसंघामध्ये लासलगाव ही आशिया खंडातील सर्वात मोठी कांदा उत्पादक बाजारपेठ आहे। त्या ठिकाणी शेतकऱ्यांनी सकाळी कांद्यांचे लिलाव बंद करून निर्यात शुल्क 0% करावे अशा प्रकारची मागणी केली आणि त्यामुळे हा शेतकऱ्यांचं मोठ्या प्रमाणावरती या माध्यमातून नुकसान होतंय। साखर आणि इथेनॉलच्या संदर्भामध्ये सुद्धा सरकारची अस्थिर धोरणं त्यामुळे हा उद्योग एक संकटात आलेला आहे। एकीकडे साखर निर्यात बंदी केली जाते, दुसरीकडे इथेनॉल निर्मितीला बंद केलं जातं आणि आयात करून परदेशातून साखर आयात केली जाते। ह्या गोष्टी शेतकऱ्यांच्या दृष्टीने अत्यंत घातक आहेत। त्याचबरोबर मी सरकारला या निमित्ताने विनंती करतो की शासनाकडे कृषी असेल, महसूल यंत्रणा आहे, त्याचप्रमाणे उत्पादन किती जास्त झालंय किंवा किती कमी होणार, किती निर्यात करावं लागेल, किती आयात करावं लागेल याचा विचार करून आयात निर्यात धोरण ठरवावे, अशा प्रकारची अपेक्षा मी या निमित्ताने आपल्याकडे व्यक्त करतो. आमच्या बाजूला माझ्या मतदारसंघामध्ये निफाड इथे ड्रायपोर्ट होतोय, परंतु त्यासाठी ज्या आवश्यक प्रक्रिया पूर्ण करून तो ड्रायपोर्ट एका बाजूला वाढवण बंदर होतोय आणि दुसऱ्या बाजूला हा ड्रायपोर्ट जर झाला तर माझ्या नाशिक जिल्ह्यातील शेतकऱ्यांना मग कांदा असेल, द्राक्ष असेल, डाळिंब असेल किंवा विविध शेतीमाल निर्यात करण्यास मोठ्या प्रकारे मदत होणार आहे. निफाड ड्रायपोर्ट हा रेल्वेद्वारे वाढवण बंदराला जोडला जावा आणि वाढवण बंदराला जोडणारे जी कनेक्टिव्हिटी रस्त्यांद्वारे ती वाढवली गेली. त्याचप्रमाणे त्या ठिकाणी वाढवण बंदराच्या बाबतीमध्ये त्या भागातील शेतकऱ्यांच्या किंवा मच्छीमार लोकांच्या किंवा स्थानिक लोकांच्या ज्या अडचणी आहेत त्यामध्ये लक्ष घालून मदत करावी, अशा प्रकारची मागणी मी या ठिकाणी या निमित्ताने करतो. हे जे विधेयक आहे हे केवळ एक पोकळ सुधारणा आहे असं मला वाटतं. याने केवळ फक्त मोठ्या कंपन्यांना फायदा मिळणार असून लहान व्यापारी आणि शेतकरी मागे पडतील आणि म्हणून डिजिटल प्रणालीचा अवलंब चांगला असला तरी त्यासाठी आवश्यक सुरक्षा आणि सुविधा विकसित केल्याशिवाय त्याचा फारसा उपयोग होणार नाही. कृषी क्षेत्राच्या गरजा लक्षात घेऊन निर्यात धोरणामध्ये ठोस सुधारणा करण्यात आल्या नाही. सरकारने शेतकऱ्यांसाठी, कृषी जिल्ह्यांसाठी स्पष्ट धोरण आखून निर्यातीला बळ देणारे उपाय करावेत. निर्यातीसाठी आवश्यक असणाऱ्या पायाभूत सुविधा, शीतगृहे, गोदामे यासाठी मोठ्या प्रमाणावर, त्यामुळे ग्रामीण किंवा छोट्या शहरातील शेतकऱ्यांना, व्यापाऱ्यांना त्याचा फायदा होईल. फक्त मोठ्या उद्योगपतींसाठी या विधेयकाचा फायदा होणार नाही याचा सरकारने पुनर्विचार करावा अशी विनंती मी आपल्याला या वतीने करतो. धन्यवाद.
धन्यवाद जी. माननीय सदस्य ऑनरेबल मेंबर बिरोतो फर्नांडिस जी.
Giving an opportunity to speak on this very important bill. Sir, this bill of lading 2024 was introduced on August 9, 2024. It seeks to replace the Indian Bills of Lading Act 1856 to a document issued by a freight carrier to a shipper. It contains details such as the type, quantity, condition, and destination of goods being carried. Now, the Act states that a bill of lading is conclusive evidence of goods on board. It grants following persons all rights of suit and liabilities regarding the goods. A, the receiver as per the bill of lading. Second, any third party to whom the receiver may transfer the ownership of goods. Sir, when we are discussing the bill of lading, it is but necessary that we get into a discussion of shipping and shipping related matters, because the entire issue is related to shipping. In this context, I suggest the government should facilitate to modernize the shipbuilding industry in India, as we have huge potential to compete the shipbuilding industry in the world. Pops up is the Shipping Corporation of India. The Shipping Corporation of India has played a huge role in contributing towards India's economy, and both during peacetime and during hostilities. But provisions in this bill holders in formulating the bill, or is it to dilute the stake of Shipping Corporation of India, economy to their most favored businessmen? It's not a mere allegation, but because we know who it is. Now, there are certain factors that I would like to suggest to the government when problems plaguing the shipping industry are container shortage, surge in freight rate and shipping cost, shipping delays at the ports, and turnarounds at the ports. Now, some of the major problems are at customs and immigration, complex documentation, inaccurate or incomplete paperwork, goods misclassification, valuation issues, delays due to strict regulations, potential for corruption, lack of transparency in the process, and difficulties with classifying restricted or prohibited items, often leading to significant delays in import and export shipments. Key points about custom clearance issues in India at the ports are documentation challenges, missing or incorrect information on customs declaration, invoices, and other required documents that can cause delays. Incorrect classifying goods can lead to incorrect duty calculations and clearance issues. Regulatory barriers, complex system of import and export regulations, including restrictions on certain items, approvals leading to delays. In some cases, custom officials may demand bribes to expedite the clearances of goods. So this bill of lading has to have provisions to ensure such practices are not allowed at the customs or at clearance places at the port. Lack of transparency. Importers may not have clear information on duty rates and other custom requirements, creating uncertainty. Technology issues. Glitches in the electronic customs clearance system can further hamper the process. Sir, recently, building mission. But sadly and surprisingly, why are the Indian shipbuilding designers not placed on the panel? Our shipbuilders have done tremendous progress and contributed in the shipbuilding industry in a big way. Some are involved in. They are not only not included, but here we come to know that people who are nowhere connected, which may finally end up in breaking a shipping corporation of India, and who will gain from that? But the most favored businessman friend of the government. Sir, while presenting the budget, the Honorable Finance Minister announced a 25,000 crore maritime development fund, a revamped shipping building financial assistance policy to address cost disadvantages faced by Indian yards, a credit note scheme for shipbreaking in Indian yards to promote circular economy and infrastructure status to large ships above a specified size were also announced. Today, India holds less than 1% of the global shipbuilding market, but aims to break into top 10 ranking by 2030 and top 5 by 2047. Why not? Sir, coming to my state of Goa, everybody knows we are situated on the west coast of the country. For centuries, there was sea trade that has occurred, taken place from foreign countries into Goa, and the shipping industry has prospered. The thrust of the government should be also to ensure that the shipping lines are exploited to them. Goa, unfortunately, was ruled for 450 years by a colonial power, again which came through the sea route. And as irony would be, today, Australia, and when it comes to the Mormugao Port Trust, which is now Mormugao Port Authority, again the call has to go to other states like Maharashtra and Karnataka. So they are expanding tracks, they are expanding roads, and in the bargain, the beautiful state of Goa is getting destroyed. To the extent, a few days back, even the iconic, most revered temple of Lord Kapreshwar was demolished by authorities, sir, for facilitating this coal trade when they were trying to expand the railway tracks. Even the Sarpanch, a lady Sarpanch, has been booked by the authorities. Even the local authorities have become agents of the central agency to suppress country, instead of using it for certain trade which is going to destroy certain places like the way my state of...
I thank my leader Narendra Modi ji, and also I thank Honorable Speaker while speaking in support of this bill. The bill, in the objects of the bill, what has been stated by the Minister, no, it is there. ease of business, and for giving some directions to the persons involved in the business, which will take India at least 50 years ago, 50 years preceded from this time today by use of this bill. Now, one of the respected members were talking about sending some some goods were indulged in water, having some furnace oil, etc., and nobody knew who was the owner of the goods. Here, without giving any blow to the earlier bill, which has been stated clearly that the consignee would be accepted as the owner of the goods, where the property in the goods would transfer to the consignee. It is a deeming provision. It is a fiction of law that while before this, in the bill of lading, the consignor and consignee was mentioned, and it was the consignor who was taken as the owner of the goods. Here, by using one legal fiction, it has been done that the property in the goods means the ownership of the goods will be deemed to have been transferred to the shipper. That is also the consignee to whom it has been sent. The result? Suppose 1,000-ton smuggled coal from West Bengal, is transported by ship from Bengal to some other country outside India, and if it is caught by any of the Navy or any of the water monitoring authority, then the first question would be, who sent this 1,000 tons of coal? This coal is coming to my mouth because of the reason that there is a coal scam, huge coal scam in West Bengal. Who is the owner of this coal? Who is the owner of this coal? Deemed. It will be considered, it will be accepted that the person who is shipping the coal is the owner of the coal. That's the advantage which has been created by this bill in modern terms instead of a bill of 1800. A bill which was framed in 1800. A new bill was required, is always required, to come to bring the new terms in the Act. Here another very important is Section 2, where the liabilities also, not only the rights, liabilities also has been fastened upon the shipper, that is the consignee or the person who is transporting the good. Bill of lading is actually a paper, a document which shows that who is sending the goods, what is the amount, where it is being sent, and to whom it is being sent. Bill of lading is a very simple thing. Bill of lading, some informations are given. Now it was always considered that the person who is sending the bill, he is the owner. Now in this bill it has been stated at the very outset, that is the object and reasons, to transfer of rights of suit and all liabilities to the consignee. If something happens to the good, who would sue? The person who has some insurable interest in the good to be insured. So the person who has some insurable interest in the goods will sue. Now, if the person is not available, if the shipper says that yes, somebody booked it, if the consignee said yes, I sent some, but in the meantime the shipper and the consignee has already been faced, has already been who will extract the money, that is the damages caused due to some problems which has been shipped in the goods, and not only the goods, some goods which is mentioned in the bill of lading but has not been given in the ship. Here ship, the word ship includes also any carriage by way, by road. Shipping does not always mean that it has to be shipped by a ship. Shipping is a term of insurance which covers also the carriage of goods by transporters through road. So, here if something is required to be done in the court of law, the person to whom the good has been transferred for shipment, not the ownership, to the consignee, not the ownership, he can also sue the person who is liable for the damages. This particular provision, along with the opening up of the whole thing, that is Section 5, proposed Section 5, the central government may give such directions as it may deem necessary for carrying out all or any of the provisions of this Act. It has an opening to the national trade and also the international trade. For doing something, if some direction is required, a person is to go to the court of law, where a litigation will continue for 20 years. Hereas the government has taken the responsibility of giving directions. If the direction is bad, court has also already vested with the power by Constitution of India to declare it as bad. So whether it is a bad decision or good decision, I am not on that. I am on the question whether the government can issue certain directions for the betterment of the transport by sea or by road. This bill of lading is not only used only in ship, it is also used in transport and also in multimodal transport act. Under multimodal, we have one multimodal transport act which shows that some goods will start, say, from Calcutta to Paradip, from Paradip to some other country, from that country, from the port to some factory. For the whole thing, one bill of lading can be used. This is said multimodal transport. So this multimodal transport will also come within the meaning of this act. So while supporting the bill, I say that it has opened up an area for our country which is very progressive, which will bring India at least 50 years ahead of our time. Thanks to all. I conclude.
Thank you, Honourable Member. Honourable Member, M. Gurumurthy ji.
Thank you, Chairman, sir, for giving me the opportunity to speak on the Bills of Lading Bill 2024. Sir, the new bill simplifies and improves the efficiency in the way we do business in terms of maritime trade, sir. Honorable Chairman, sir, I will call out few strengths and positives of the bill. First one, replacing the old 1856 Act is a big step towards modernizing and standardizing the trade in making India complete with global markets and standards. And second point, sir, this bill brings clarity in the supply chain and in protecting the interest of shippers, freight carriers, and third-party buyers, reducing any potential disputes, sir. And third point, sir, as India becomes fifth largest economy of the world, and in the view of the strides that we are making in Make in India movement, truly complements such changes the bill, sir. Chairman, sir, as a representative from Andhra Pradesh, a state which has second longest coastline in India, I know how important this law is for strengthening India's maritime trade. Sir, in this time, I want to recall, under the leadership of our ex-CM Sri Y. Jagan Mohan Reddy Garu, Andhra Pradesh has taken several steps to boost the blue economy and seen a substantial growth. To refer briefly, sir, building 3 new greenfield ports at Bhavanapadu, Machilipatnam and Ramayapatnam, and developing 9 fishing harbors to support fishermen, exports and substantial practices, sir. These harbors increase fishing and prawn catching by approximately 4.5 lakh tons, contributing 9,000 crores gross value added, sir, and providing employment of 1 lakh fishermen community, sir. Chairman, sir, I see there is a big necessity and action on the hour, sir. As outlined Part 10, 13th Schedule in Infrastructure and Special Economic Measures of the Andhra Pradesh Reorganization Act 2014, the Government of India committed to develop of a new major port at Duggarajpatnam in Tirupati parliamentary constituency, sir. Despite this provision, the project initiation has not yet commenced, sir, while that was expected to kick off by 2018 itself as a phase 1, sir. Chairman, sir, I urge the government to expedite the development of shipbuilding and port infrastructure at Duggarajpatnam in Tirupati parliamentary segment, sir. This project holds immense potential and regional economic growth and national maritime advantage, sir. Honorable Chairman, sir, I would like to call out few challenges of this bill, sir. First one, although the bill recognizes the rights of bona fide holders of bills of lading, it does not transferring bills giving support and encouragement to the small traders in propelling the maritime economy, sir. And second point, sir, the dispute resolutions are not heavily discussed, which could lead to unpleasant scenarios between consignees, shippers and the liability, sir, rights under the bill, sir. And third point is, sir, I would like to call out for training programs to build the capacity formation that is needed in terms of infra, coordination and seamless coordination, sir. Thank you, sir. Finally, we support this bill, sir.
Thank you, Honourable Member. माननीय सदस्य श्री चंद्रशेखर जी.
धन्यवाद सभापति जी कि आपने मुझे लैंडिंग बिल पे अपनी बात रखने का मौका दिया. सभापति जी, 1856 में जो कानून बनाया गया और मैंने बिल पढ़ा, क्या पढ़ने के बाद मुझे एहसास होता है कोई बदलाव नहीं, सिर्फ कॉपी पेस्ट किया गया. तो सरह लेने में और प्रचार करने में तो मौजूदा सरकार को मेडल अलग से देना चाहिए कि कॉपी पेस्ट कर दिया और सरह ले लिया कि ये हमने किया है. नाम बदलने में और सरह लेने में हमारी सरकार को महारत हासिल है, जबकि हकीकत ये है कि ये इंटरनेशनल लॉ है जिसके आधार पर सभी देशों को काम करना पड़ता है. अगर सरकार कुछ बदलाव चाहती थी तो इसमें बिल को इलेक्ट्रॉनिक फॉर्मेट में कर सकते थे। ये डिजिटल युग है, चर्चा होती है और सब जगह, आप तो फोन से लेकर सब जगह जो है डिजिटल बातें होती हैं, लेकिन फॉर्मेट आपने कागज में ही रखा है। कई देशों के बिल इंडिया में ही बन रहे हैं मैन पावर की वजह से। वहां मैन पावर कम है, यहां मैन पावर ज्यादा। अगर ये इलेक्ट्रॉनिक फॉर्मेट में आ जाता तो बहुत से भारतीयों को रोजगार मिल जाता। लेकिन मुझे ये भी बताना पड़ेगा कि हमारी सरकार का रोजगार देने में उनको बड़ी परेशानी है और वो रोजगार देने के खिलाफ, इसलिए उन्होंने शायद इलेक्ट्रॉनिक फॉर्मेट में नहीं रखा। जैसे उदाहरण, ऑस्ट्रेलिया में कोई माल चढ़ता है जहाज पर, उसकी इन्वेंट्री यहां बनती है, उसके लैंडिंग बिल भी इंडिया में बनते हैं। इलेक्ट्रॉनिक फॉर्मेट में कर देते तो उसका बैक एंड फॉर्मूला हमारे पास आ सकता था। इससे देश को फायदा होता और हमारे बहुत सारे लोगों को रोजगार मिलता। और राष्ट्रीय जलमार्ग 2016 कानून के तहत कई राष्ट्रीय जलमार्ग विकसित होने थे, परंतु अभी तक सभी नहीं बने। यह जलमार्ग बन जाते तो बाढ़ व सूखे की समस्या से भी निजात मिल सकती थी, लेकिन सरकार को बाढ़ से भी फर्क नहीं पड़ता क्योंकि उससे भी आम जनता को परेशानी होती। पेट्रोल और डीजल की जो खपत है, अगर ये बन जाए जलमार्ग तो बहुत फायदा जो है वो खपत कम हो सकती है और बहुत बड़ा फायदा हो सकता है। लेकिन सरकार का इसमें कोई इंटरेस्ट नहीं है, इसलिए मैं अपनी भावनाओं के साथ इस बिल को अपोज करता हूं और मैं कहता हूं कि सरकार अगर चाहे तो हमारे सुझाव को मान के कुछ अच्छा कर सकती है, वरना फिर मैं कहूंगा दोहराते हुए कि सरे लेने में और नाम बदलने में सरकार को महारत हासिल है। इसके लिए पुनः मेरा अनुरोध है कि इनको मेडल दिया जाए। धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद जी। माननीय सदस्य जी प्रदीप पानीग्राही जी।
Speaker, the Honorable Chairman, sir, I support this bill introduced by Honorable Minister of Port and Shipping, Sri Sonavalji. This bill is very important as far as the international trade and India's position as a global player, developing our economy in a national and global field. This bill replacing the old bill, which is outdated in nature, and to comply our international norms and protecting our national interest in modern time. This is a bill which is giving an ample opportunity with new sections, new simplifying the structure and bringing the many changes in old bill to make it a visible to in port sector to giving ample opportunities. As the different section of this bill also reflects and the many speakers on opposition side criticizing this bill, but I see this bill is a very important bill as far as the compliance with international obligations, streamlining regulations, broadening eligibility for ship ownership, establishing maritime utility framework, streamlining administrative framework, including integrating coastal and inland waterways, simplifying regulations. All these are very important factors that was covered under this bill. As far as the under this bill, as Odisha is also affected under this bill, Odisha's coastline is around 480 kilometers. So we need the request the Honorable Minister to focus Odisha, as the Prime Minister is already focusing in the Purbodaya as a East policy. Odisha plays a major role in coming in an area, and Prime Minister regular visit to the state and the double engine sarkar that works in the center and the state. This bill also play a major role. I request the Honorable Minister to focus developing new ports, particularly in Astaranga, in Puri district, and Bahuda at Ganjam, and Palur in Chhatrapur of Ganjam district. This will do a wonderful job as far as the economic growth of Odisha is concerned. As the communication is a very important part of the nation, as per the seaport is concerned, or the airport is concerned, or the railways are concerned, or the roads are concerned. So in modern days, the communication play a major role. I hope this bill brings in a major changes in as far as the maritime trade is concerned. I hope the Honorable Minister during this bill, passing of the bill, he will focus on Odisha to bring new ports with new provisions to make a Viksit Bharat agenda of Honorable Prime Minister
2047, and Odisha will play a major role by providing a growth of contribution to the national growth as per economy is concerned. Thank you for giving me an opportunity in this bill.
Thank you. Sri Sachidanandan, Honorable Member Sachidanandan.
Good evening, Speaker, sir. The exports from India have come to a standstill as shipping companies hiked shipping charges nearly 6 times. Various sectors such as jute, seafood, food processing and species have been disrupted. Items are all in stock. Due to this, hundreds of people have lost their jobs. It is said that the reason for the increase in price is the shortage of containers. Higher import costs lead to higher prices for goods ranging from toys to computers. Exporters say that the union government is doing nothing to tackle the crisis. Before COVID, a container that was sent abroad for ₹2 lakh now costs up to ₹12 lakh. The fare from Kochi to Shanghai, China was $1,200 to $1,500. China was now risen to between $5,000 to $6,000. The Kochi-Dubai container fare has been increased from $300 to $350 to $1,000, and the Kochi-Colombo fare has been increased to $1,500 to $2,000. Due to the COVID lockdown, shipping containers are stuck at ports due to the shortage of containers. The Kerala Exporters Association said that the shortage of containers has increased due to reduced the imports from China. Due to the reduced imports from China, the shipping companies are reluctant to deliver containers to Kochi to higher profits at other ports. So, the lading bill amended as to control the shipping charges. Thank you very much, sir.
It looks like. Yes. What one? Raja Ram Singh, Honorable Member.
सभापति महोदय, ये शिपिंग बिल बात तो की जा रही है कि 1856 के हम कानून को बदल रहे हैं इसके जरिए, लेकिन दूसरा सच ये है जो बड़ा सच है कि जैसे रेलवे और विभिन्न क्षेत्रों में प्राइवेटाइजेशन को प्रमोट किया गया है, इस शिपिंग बिल के जरिए भी प्राइवेट कंपनियों को ज़्यादा तरजीह दी गई है। अभी माननीय सदस्य ने भाड़ा वृद्धि की बात कही, तो अंग्रेजी विरोध का नारा है, लेकिन कंपनीकरण की कोशिश है इस शिपिंग बिल के जरिए भी, और इसलिए मैं इसका विरोध करता हूं। एक दो बात इस संदर्भ में कहना चाहूंगा। सेतु समुद्रम का किस्सा तब पढ़ा था जब सांसद यहाँ नहीं थे। एक अखबार में रिपोर्ट पढ़ी कि सेतु समुद्रम से बड़े जहाज़ों को ले जाना है और उसके लिए भारत सरकार ने एफिडेविट करके सुप्रीम कोर्ट में दिया है कि सेतु समुद्रम कुछ भी नहीं था, वो लंका के बीच में वो पहाड़ बना हुआ है, प्राकृतिक बनावट है, और राम रावण युद्ध नहीं हुआ था। तो एक तरफ राम मंदिर पर राजनीति की जाती है और दूसरी तरफ कॉरपोरेट हित जहां टकराते हैं वहां पर ये एफिडेविट करके सुप्रीम कोर्ट में दिया जाता है। तो व्हाट इज दिस? ये क्या है? ये कौन सा अपॉर्चुनिज्म है? और दूसरी बात, एक समय देश में दाल का संकट हुआ था और उस समय अफ्रीकन कंट्रीज में बड़े कॉरपोरेट घरानों ने जमीन खरीदी कि इस पर दाल उत्पादन होगा और अडानी के जहाज से वो दाल भारत आएगा। तो यह जो फेयर का एक डील है, इसको इस बिल के जरिए और सुगम बनाया गया है। तो मैं कहना चाहता हूं कि ये ठीक नहीं है। और तीसरी बात जो मैं कहने के लिए खड़ा हुआ हूं कि शिपिंग इंडस्ट्री में जो रेगुलर काम है, नियमित रूप से नियमित बहालियों को छोड़ करके अब कॉन्ट्रैक्ट मजदूरों की बहाली हो रही है और उनको बहुत ही कम पेमेंट दिया जा रहा है, उस पर खटवाया जा रहा है दिन रात, जबकि वो रेगुलर काम है। और इस पक्ष पर बिल में कोई चर्चा नहीं है कि जो शिप बनाते हैं, शिप चलाते हैं, शिप पर काम करते हैं, उसमें जो काम करने वाले लोग हैं उनकी जीवन स्थिति क्या है, मजदूरों की स्थिति क्या है, और उनको रेगुलर बहाली अगर रेगुलर काम के लिए पहले था तो आज उसको क्यों खत्म किया जा रहा है और उसको भी उचित मानदेय या वेतन नहीं दिया जा रहा है, न उनके जीवन की अच्छी स्थिति है। तो महोदय, यही मैं कहना चाहता हूं कि आने वाले दिनों में एक बात और कह करके अपनी बात खत्म करूंगा। पारादीप बंदरगाह सरकारी है उड़ीसा में, उसके बगल में एक प्राइवेट कंपनी को बंदरगाह देने की कोशिश की गई। उन्होंने उस समय, हालांकि वो बहुत प्रोटेस्ट हुआ, फिर वापस हुआ वो निर्णय, लेकिन उसमें कोशिश ये थी कि हमारे आयरन ओर को सीधा उस अपने प्राइवेट बंदरगाह से वो अपने देश में ले जाएं और अपने यहाँ आयरन बना करके और वो सेल करें या उसको अपना इस्तेमाल में लाएं। तो ये जो धीरे धीरे ये कोशिश चल रही है, उड़ीसा के, गुजरात की कहानी हम बराबर देख रहे हैं कि प्राइवेट पोर्ट पर किस तरह से बड़े पैमाने पर ड्रग्स आ रहे हैं, कुछ सीज हो रहा है और बाकी देश के अन्य हिस्सों में जा रहा है, हमारे नौजवानों की सेहत खराब कर रहा है। तो इन तमाम पक्षों पर इस बिल में एक बात होनी चाहिए कि उसके ऑलराउंड जो असर हैं, जो इरोजन के हैं, पर्यावरण संकट के हैं, उन सारे पक्षों पर इस बिल में चर्चा होनी चाहिए और इस पर बात होनी चाहिए। धन्यवाद।
थैंक यू। श्री N.K. Bremchandran.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, sir, for giving me this opportunity to take part in the discussion on the Bills of Lading Bill 2024. Sir, I was surprised to hear the arguments and observations from the Treasury benches that it is going to make drastic changes in the maritime sector because ample business opportunities will be provided after passing of this bill. Sir, there is nothing to oppose or nothing to support in this bill. Rightly, the honourable member has observed in his opening remarks that it is a repeal and reenactment of a pre-independent legislation. But I would like to add two more words to along with this. It is a repeal and reenactment of a pre-independent legislation without any changes and without any reforms to the tune of the time. What is the scope of this legislation? Sir, the pre-independent legislation was Indian Bills of Lading 1856. It is a law that governs the transfer of goods shipped by the sea. It defines the rights and liabilities of carriers and consignees. And I have gone through the Indian Bills of Lading 1856. So the same bill, same provisions, and the contents, everything is the same. Then what is the scope of bringing a new bill without any changes in order to suit with the situation, in order to suit with the new liberalized economic era? Because this bill is enacted in the year 1856. That is 170 years ago, this bill was passed by the British legislature or British India government. And even now, after 170 years, the government of India, led by Honorable Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi ji, and even the minister, Port Minister also has spoken in his opening remarks that 1,500 obsolete legislations has already been repealed. And we want to decolonize the legislations as in the case of IPC, Criminal Procedure Code and Indian Evidence Act, but copying it in a different form. Nothing else is there. There is no in-depth wisdom is not being put on the legislation. That is the reason by which I am saying there is nothing new so as to oppose or so as to support the bill. Sir, only one new provision has been incorporated in the bill, that is clause 5 of the bill. Sir, what is clause 5 of the bill? The central government may give such directions as it may deem necessary for carrying out or any of the provisions of the bill. So other than this, the entire provisions are the same. There are 3 clauses mainly. Number 1 is rights under bill in loading vessel in consignee or endorsee. And the second one is no right of stoppage in transit and right to claim freight against the original shipper or owner. And the third point is regarding the bills of lading in the hands of a consignee is a conclusive evidence of the shipment as against the master. This is the content of the bill 1856 as well as 2025 bill is same provision, same content, nothing is doing. So my pertinent question I would like to ask to the Honourable Minister, you have incorporated a new provision clause 5 that the government of India is empowered to give directions from time to time as it deems necessary, either for all the provisions, for implementing either all the provisions or any of the provisions of the bill. So I would like to know from the Honourable Minister, even if there is no such provision in the bill, a bill passed by the Parliament, Government of India is empowered to give directions so as to implement the provisions of the bill. It is implied. There is no need of an explicit provision in the bill that the government can give directions for the implementation of the provisions of the bill. So what is the purpose of incorporating a new provision clause 5 in the bill? Just to show that we have reformed the bill. That is the only reason why we say new bill has been brought in. Otherwise, you have to come with so many changes. Sir, I have got 5 suggestions. Let me come with these positive, very concrete, positive suggestions. So the number 1 is the lack of adequate safeguards for Indian exporters and importers. Sir, bills of lading are one of the most essential documents in international trade, as they serve as both the receipt for goods and the title to the goods being shipped. However, the provisions under the bill fails to provide adequate safeguards to Indian exporters and importers, the backbone of the country's trade sector. Sir, exporters who are primarily small and medium-sized business in India often lack the resources of bargaining power to negotiate the terms of international shipping contracts. While the bill introduces several standardization measures, it does not address the challenges faced by the Indian exporters in avoiding fraudulent practices, especially when dealing with the foreign shipping companies and agents. So I suggest a special provision for Indian exporters to have stronger legal recourse in case of disputes involving bill of lading, particularly in relation to foreign shipping companies. This could include establishing a dispute resolution mechanism specifically aimed at protecting the Indian interest. That is the first suggestion. Sir, 5 suggestions. This is very positive suggestions. And the second one is regarding the potential for increased cost of doing business. Sir, the bill, there is a lack of clarity on the regulatory framework that will govern the fees and charges related to bills of lading. The bill potentially opens the door for increased fees and charges associated with the issuance, transfer and please 2 minutes. Issuance, transfer and negotiation of these documents. These costs could place additional financial burden on Indian businesses, particularly the export and import. So my point is that the cost competitiveness is a critical for Indian business to succeed in the global market. So sir, I suggest a regulatory cap on fees and charges for bills of lading, ensuring that this do not unduly burden the Indian MSMEs. And the third suggestion, sir, regarding the maritime sector and the carriage of goods seized by the sea. There is another bill is also carriage of goods by sea bill. Sir, there are provisions there are contradictory provisions are also there. So I would like to urge upon the minister, kindly go that there shall not be a contradiction with these 2 bills. And the fourth one is very important suggestion, that is the technological advancements and the digital bills of lading. Sir, this is the most modern era of communication technology, even the artificial intelligence era. Sir, the issue is, it is limited focus is there on the digital transformation of the maritime industry. In an era of rapidly advancing technology, the electronic bills of lading, the use of electronic bills of lading has become the global standard in international trade. Several countries, including major trading nations like United States, Singapore, UK, have already embraced digitalization in the shipping sector. India, however, has lagged behind this area. The bill makes, sir, 1 second. The bill makes only passing mention of the electronic bills of lading and fails to provide a robust framework for their adoption and regulation. The lack of clarity in digital bills of lading could make India's maritime industry less attractive to international shippers and importers who increasingly prefer the speed, security and efficiency of digital solutions. Sir, with these suggestions, I make 2 points, that is regarding the Vizhinjam International Seaport Limited. There was a
commitment on the part of the government of India that after the completion of the Vizhinjam International Seaport Limited, there is an agreement, commitment on the part of the government of India that viability gap funding will be provided to the Vizhinjam International Port. But now the government of India is withdrawing from their commitment to provide the VGF. That has to be taken into consideration. And the last point, sir, regarding my constituency, there is a Kollam Port Honorable Minister, Mr. Suresh Gopi is also sitting. He is also from my constituency. He is born and brought from my place, and we studied with me in my college. And he is well aware of this fact. Sir, my point is that it's Kollam Port. It has started since long. Unfortunately, it is not been operational. Yes, the government of India clearance has been given. There is a, sir, 1 second. There is a Minikoi to Kollam ship travel possibility is there from Lakshadweep. That may be considered with these points. I never support the bill. Thank you.
Sir Nishikant bhai.
Taking 3 of my points.